What is going on, guys? Panther here, your coach of the Carolina Fables, and we are bringing you our Week 4 BBR battle against Baldy. He is the reigning D-League champion, and we've got a tough matchup here this week against him. So I've never played Baldy before. I just, like I said, the only details I know about him is that he won the D-League, so he must be a confident battler. He has a really good Dragon Fairy Steel Core with Garchomp, Heatran, and Enamorus. Enamorus in particular just really shreds my team. And there's not really I have a lot. I don't really have a lot for it either. So um, I uh, I have an Excadrill, but it gets superpower with Contrary. Um, it gets Earth Power as well. So this thing's hard to switch into. My bench is like Quag and Appleton, Galarian, Articuno. So I don't have a whole lot of really good switch-ins into this. So I've really got to watch out for the Enamorus here. So you can kind of see the team up on the screen right here. We do have some heat this week that you will get to see during the battle. So let's just go ahead and jump into it. So looking at this team, I really like how Keldeo matches up. If he wants to lead with like Dondozo or something like that, I can get a big hit off on it. I am SCX Cadrill, so I want to get rid of that because Drill looks really good otherwise into the team, especially with Sand up. So I want to weaken the Dondozo, use Keldeo to do that, so Excadrill can do its thing. So we're going to lead off with Keldeo, see what he wants to lead with. I do think the Galarian Slowking is going to be the answer for it. Maybe some type of Assault Vest variant or something like that. Even just Spadef eats up Keldeo anyways. We will see what he chooses to lead off with. I think he's the only other player I've ever played that has that same trainer card as me too. So I'm just going to go and flip turn out turn 1. He leads with the Heatran. I really don't think he's going to want to stay in and give me this guy. You're probably wondering why this is post-com this week. It's post-com because I actually had my son, my 5-week-old son, in my lap for the entire battle. I'm going to slow this down just a little bit. So that's why we were post-commentating. I was actually feeding him with my chin at the time with a bottle and then had my Joy-Cons in my hands playing this battle. Anyways, Salamence is my best switch into the Heatran. Figured he probably just wants to get up his rocks if he's that adamant about staying in. Maybe he's Sash or something like that. Sometimes suicide lead. So if he's going to give this to me, turn 1 on Keldeo, I'm just going to go right on for the Earthquake here and knock this guy out. Actually, do I go for the dual wing beat? Do I? I think about it at least. Yeah. I'm like, nah. He stayed in on the Keldeo. He don't care about this. I'm just going to go ahead. Or maybe he was Pasho or something like that to get the rocks up. Who knows? So we're going to go ahead and pick up the KO here with Mince. Mince is kind of a bulkier set this week. Helps me take on the Gambit as well. Because it's going to boost up on it. Knock it out with Quake. In comes the threat in the Enamorus. So I'm going to go right out into my AV Raikou. You can see my heat. It's got the Weather Ball on it. He has a Kilowattrel on his team, so in Sand, Weather Ball kills Kilowattrel. But it also has a dual purpose on if Slowking has Chilly Reception, then Weather Ball also will kill Garchomp. So we will see if I'm able to get to use that. I'm going to go for the Volt Switch here. I do know the switch could be Chomp. It also could be the Slowking. He probably doesn't want to give me momentum because if he gives me Slowking, then I can go right on out into Drill or T-Tar, which he struggles with. So, I see that he goes out into the Chomp there. I'm going to go right out into my Galarian Weezing. It's built for this Garchomp. And Babiri as well. So I'm thinking there with the Enamorus, with that damage, he could be Choice Scarfed. So that's a possibility I have to kind of watch out for. Now, Drill does outspeed that, understand, but I don't have a Scarf or otherwise. So he would win the Speed War unless Sand's up. So definitely something I have to watch out for on that. Or this Garchomp could be like Scarf Chomp or something like that. So I'm going to go into Weezing. And he goes straight for the Iron Head too and pops my Babiri Berry. And that's fine. So he does get some damage there off on Wheezing. But the main purpose is I don't want this thing to SD scale shot on me. So there's no Heatran anymore. I am free to go for the Will-O-Wisp. So that is what I do. If he wants to go out to the Slowking, that's fine. I'm going to get some damage off on it. Or I'm going to get this this burn off on it, which provides that residual damage. So perfectly fine with that. Nothing really wanted to take a burn. He can't go Gambit. If he wants to go in Amorous, I'm just going to chip that away too with burn plus sand. And then I'm going to defog these rocks away. His Heatran's dead. I really don't think there's any way he's going to go for a Psychic here with a Tyranitar sitting there. I figured he was going to Chili out, if anything. Especially once I saw that this thing was not like the Spadef Keldeo check and not going to be Assault Vested. So definitely really thought it had the Chili reception. So now he's going to go out into an Amorous, and a couple of things he could go for here. He could go for the Psychic. He could go for the Earth Power, predicting like Raikou or Tyranitar, or he could just really throw off a Moonblast as well. I guess he does not know that I don't have a Poison type move on Wheezing. But this is tough for me here because Enamorous is just a big problem for my team. Just in general overall. Offensive Fairies have been really hard for my team to deal with. Like Primarina week 1 was really tough for me to deal with too. So I'm going to go Drill here. I really don't need health on this guy. He goes for the Psychic. And I do think he is Choice Scarfed. So that's something I want to keep in mind there with that. But I'm thinking like, okay, if he thinks I'm going to go Tyranitar here, then he could go out in the Chomp. Or I think that Dondozo is going to come in here on my Raikou. And the Dondozo is going to come in on Excadrill. Because Dondozo does eat up Drill pretty good. A defensive Dondozo does. So I'm thinking Dozo's probably going to come in here. Either way, that covers Tyranitar as well. So I'm going to make the double out, and I'm going to go out into Raikou. So trying to catch the Dondozo as he goes for the Earth Power, and that lights me up, does a lot of damage. So it tells me he's not Scarf. But Raikou, you see what I clicked there, because the Weather Ball, I'm not calcing, but I'm sure it does a lot of damage. It's 150 base power, so I'm fine just clicking the Weather Ball. I know he's not Scarf now. If he goes out in the Chomp, then it's beautiful and I catch it. So he's going to go out into the Garchomp here as I click the Weather Ball, and we get this nice Weather Ball off. Hopefully he's not Yachi. No Yachi, and we pick up the kill on Garchomp with the Weather Ball. So that really is big for me, knocking out his best offensive Pokemon against me here. So down he goes. I still have this Raikou alive though here, and I'm okay with that because Raikou is really going to be critical for. I can now just throw off free discharges and probably pick up the kill on Dondozo with a little bit of chip on it. But this just also gives me into the pivot. I can pivot forces in Slowking, and I can just pivot, go into like Tyranitar or Excadrill or whatever that may be. So here it is. I'm going to go into my T-Tar here. And now this gives me the opportunity to do a couple of different things. He goes for the Trick Room here. This thing does get Focus Blast as well. So I've seen Focus Blast. I've seen the Chili Reception. So I don't think that this guy is the sweeper here at this point. So let's see. He's got the Dondozo. He's got the Enamorous, which we know is probably not the Trick Room sweeper, or the King Gambit. So King Gambit, Dondozo, one of those two guys are going to be what he's going to bank on winning this game on now, especially now that the Trick Room's up. So I'm taking a little bit to think. I'm like, well, if he is packing the Focus Blast, I want to go ahead and preserve my Tyranitar, preserve my Sand, and we see who wins the Sand versus Trick Room war. I felt like Salamence was a good mid-ground there on that, because if he goes out into Dozo, I can kind of expect the Ice move coming out. And if he goes out to Gambit, then that's okay too, because I can just throw off an Earthquake. So Trick Room is up now. Now, if he does go Enamorous here, I am faster because Trick Room's up. So I'd have a decision to make then on that. But he's going to go out into the King Gambit here. And now I can just freely throw off my Earthquake as he goes for the Katal. That does a lot of damage. And he turns out to be Shookaberry. So good prep there on his part. That covers my Excadrill as well. So Trick Room's up. I have Keldeo. I don't really need health on Keldeo either. So I'm going to go out into Keldeo here on the Katal to avoid getting knocked out with my Salamence there. And the Justify doesn't really do anything. But the Trick Room has one turn left. And does he expect the Vacuum Wave is the question. Because Vacuum Wave will kill this. From Specs Keldeo. So I go for the Vacuum Wave here as he goes out into, I believe, Dondozo on this turn. Turn's taking a little bit longer than I'd like here. But as you can see, this Vacuum Wave does a lot of damage. And that is exciting because that's like 30% off on Dozo there. And so I'm okay with that. Like, that's telling me that this is not, I don't see leftovers. So it's not like a bulkier Dondozo. So really, we're really putting Drill in position here to do a number to his team. We've gotten a little bit of chip on this. We've gotten a hit off on the not Bisharp, the Daddy Bisharp and King Gambit. You can tell I have not played the end game. Also, shout out to Salamence for living on one on the Zen Headbutt there. That was nice. And so, yeah, we're just going to roost up here. We can see that it is choice banded with that Zen Headbutt. So we're just going to roost on up as he fires off another Zen. And, yeah, and again, I'm not calcing. So I was like, that's a lot of damage for a Dondozo for a Zen Headbutt. So I was like, that's probably banned. Especially when I didn't see leftovers or anything. I saw Trick Room. This is probably his Trick Room sweeper. So I'm going to throw off the dual wing beat. And as you can see, we pick up a lot of damage on him here. So now something dies. So what do I want to die? And I've got everybody alive here at this point. We're up 6-4. We're in good shape. So what tools do I need to win the game here? Is Salamence one of those tools? So I thought long and hard about this one, and I was like, we'll go ahead and give him Salamence. So let Salamence go down here. We know he's not Choice Scarfed, so that gives me Keldeo. Or, all right, okay, I go Raikou. That's a better play. So Raikou comes in, and that's right, because you get a free Volt Switch here. I mean, if he goes out into the Slow King, then I get my Tyranitar, and I get to click Knock Off, or I can get my Rocks up, or whatever I want to do here, basically. So we just click Volt Switch here, and he's thinking long and hard about this turn here in particular. We're going to go ahead and speed this one up here. So he's going to withdraw. I believe he goes out into Slow King here. Nope, he goes out into the Raikou on the Volt Switch. So, yep, that brings me a decision. I can go into Excadrill and click EQ, or I can go out into Keldeo, which I believe is the better play. And this gives me a Surf here, because if he does go out into Dondozo, it's going to take a lot of damage from Surf. So I'm going to use Surf, pick up the kill on the King Gambit, and Keldeo is just doing so well this season, man. I'm really liking Keldeo. It's been a long time since I've used Keldeo, but just this guy just claims souls. Anyways, goes out into the Slow King again. And I'm thinking, yeah, Trick Room's probably coming out here on this turn, so I'm going to go out into my Tyranitar. And, yep, there is the Trick Room, and now I can do one of two things. I can click Knock Off on this turn and remove some things item, potentially doing a lot to this guy, or I can click the Rocks here if I want to get those Rocks up just for that chip. But I decided to go for the knockoff. I felt like that would be for the best here. And if we knock off the Dondozo's Choice Band, and that confirms what we knew from earlier, that this thing is an offensive set. So no rest or anything from this guy. So that's really good for my Excadrill as well. Drill's looking better and better and better at this point. So he goes for the Wave Crash. Does a lot of damage to my Weezing, but he is taking recoil, and I'm perfectly fine with that. So I am just going to go for the Strange Theme here and try to pick up the kill as he goes for the Zen, and unfortunately does flinch us, but oh well. That is what it is there on that one. So down goes the Galarian Weezing, and then I can just go out into Raikou, and again, this just gives me a Volt Switch. So he's going to withdraw Preserve as he goes out into the Galarian Slowking, and I am just going to Volt right on out into my Tyranitar again, and it's just kind of rinse and repeat. So Sand's not up. He has Hail up, otherwise I would have went into my Excadrill and probably finished this game off. But I needed to get Sand back up, and then he's got a decision to make here. He's got a decision on if he wants to try to Chili out. I still don't know this thing's item. It could be Colbur. Could be Shukaberry again. I don't think I've seen this thing attack yet, but there's the Knock, and Knock's going to kill the Dondozo here from Tyranitar, and Big Boy T-Tar is picking up a kill here this battle. So there's the Turbo. He's at enough HP now to live the knockoff as he goes for the Ice Beam. Maybe he's stalling out Sand here at this point. I'm not sure exactly. Forget on that one. I probably would have chilied out if I were him there on that turn. Yeah, so we're able to just click Knock again, pick up the kill on the Galarian Slowking. That's 2 for T-Tar. And he's down to him. And I'm just going to sack Raikou here. And then I get the choice of what I want to kill an Amorous with. Because Sand is still up. But if you've been watching this season for a while, you already know what I'm going out into here. I think this thing's second place in kills right now through week 4. So yeah, there is another one. I think that's 10 on the season for Keldeo so far. So good games to you, Baldy. We moved to 2-2 on the season now. So after a rough start, we are right back in it. 4 games to go. I really think a 5-3 record is going to be enough to clinch playoffs. 4-4 will be, kind of on the fence there. But next week we have the defending champion, Owen. So we play Owen. Then I think we play Jason. And then I think we finish with Dell and Grandmaster D-Ray. So we play some friends here to end the season. I know 3 of them very well. I don't know Dell too much. I know he's on the admin team. But yeah, excited about playing Owen. I actually play him later today. So hopefully we're able to pick up the win there. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video here this week. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the Weather Ball Raikou coming in clutch and watching Keldeo claim souls again. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Catch y'all next week.